because the culture and their personality and how they fit is so important, does that change, like, when you're recruiting a high school kid, he chooses another place?
Right.
I mean, is it even more important, like, don't burn bridges?
Yeah,
Because God
man.
knows what could happen. I mean, like, knowing those high school
1,000%.
connections.
Just
okay.
do what's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine, to me, it's not burning bridges, but honestly, it's what you're doing was right. Some of these kids, guess what? They don't come to you. Well, guess what? Still show them love. It is what it is. I remember, funny story, Jaron Koenig,
Yeah.
you know, whenever I recruited him at Alabama, he calls me and he's like, hey, you know, Coach Valai, I'm sorry, I think I'm going to Clemson. Coach, I said, all right, Jaron. I said, Coach V's an awesome dude. I know, you know, V for a while and how great of a person he is as well, so you're going to be a great fit. And then as soon as, I don't know how he figured it out, but he's like, I get a call, hey, Coach Valai, I know you're coming. You know, I was like, what? You know, so to me, it's about doing what's right by people. And, you know, you always do what's right, you never remember what you said. So, you know, that just comes down to it.
By the way, if that's your Jaron Kanak impersonation,
Yeah,
I'm going to share that with him one day.
With his floppy hair as well too. He's got jokes, but he's a great kid, awesome dude, and once I'm being around the right people is number one thing, and but doing right by people. I mean, that's what, to me, not just football, but society needs is just do the right thing. You know, look on TV every single day, people are going crazy. Just do the right thing. It ain't hard to do. You know, simple as that. So.
Gentry Williams and Jaden Rowe, you know, were limited in the spring.
Yep.
What they were doing, are they full go now? And what do you
They ready
expect
to roll.
out of those two guys?
To run fast, run very fast. I want Jaden Rowe. He's big. He needs to play big, play aggressive, play physical. I told him, you know, understand who you are. You know, you're 6'3", you're 225, you're running 10.38. Go dominate. You know what I mean? Don't wait to be great. Go be elite right now. And once again, it's his mindset going to war every single day in practice. And it's almost like how you know if it's one bite at a time, right? We'll go piece by piece by piece to dominate every single play, every single rep, and every single practice, because practice happens equal game reality. And for a guy like Jaden Rowe, who's that big and that strong, for him to go dominate and inflict pain on people, not trying to just be out there, you know, don't be Tito or Jermaine, go be Michael, you know, go be Michael, have the glove, you know, go be the guy, you know, and that's just my thing for Jaden Rowe. And Gentry's Gentry. Like I said, I treat Gentry like I would with Woody Washington and Jaden Davis and all those guys. He came out every single day watching film, studies his tail off, great athlete. He's put on, since he got here, he was 165 and now he's 182, 183, you know. So his work ethic was done in this weight room with Schmitty and Scotty and Dobbs and the whole entire crew in there. And you know, they've just been, you know, phenomenal to say the least, you know, as well too. So
Let's talk about Jacoby's athleticism. How have you seen that play out, or maybe what's the most impressive thing you've seen from him physically?
You know, he's all buff now too. You know, he's fast to say the least. I remember watching him in summer sprints, just really attacking every single thing. And then his endurance is you know, his endurance and competitive toughness is, you know, I knew he had it, but watching it, you know, seeing is believing, right? Competitive toughness, CT level. I remember Kansas City Chiefs, number one thing on the board is what's his CT level, competitive toughness, right? When you get tired, you're looking at yourself right now, how quick can you dig to your wide to push through? And he's pushed through the whole entire summer. So that, with his physicality and his size, just for him, the biggest thing right now is understanding the game. And once he does that, you know, the sky's the limit for that kid. To me, he's one of the best athletes I ever had as a true freshman, whether I was at any of the schools I've been to previously as well too. So athletically, he's there. I tell the guys the truth to their face. So I ain't gonna be surprised hearing right now in the media. I tell them who they are right to their face, because to me, honesty is the best policy. So him putting together and being that freak, and just like Jaden Rowe, just understanding who you are, empowering who you are, and go dominate. Don't hesitate to be great. I don't care, you know, they strap their shoes up just like you do too. So go lock them down, go be you, understand the game, go play fast.
Other than that weight that he's put on, what's the biggest difference you've seen from Gentry coming into camp last year versus what he's about to do?
Yeah, knowledge of the game. You know, like I said, understanding the nuances of everything. Not, you know, I almost think, like I said, your cast guard. One thing I spoke about in Houston at the coaches clinic or whatever was the elite instinct theory, right? Pre-snap context clues, which he's getting way better at that. Post-snap key triggers, efficiency in his movement, and making the best of the moment. Like, make the moment. And he'll be the first guy in meetings right now. The number one thing I love in meetings, he's the loudest guy in meetings right now. Just answering every question, talking with his chest. You know, if you can talk like that, you know, and let it resonate in your soul and your spirit when you talk, and people can feel you, we're going to trust you in the football field. I've seen that from him, you know, Woody, Josiah, all these guys are starting to talk louder and louder and louder in the game, which to me shows who they are and how passionate they are about being great.
You've known Deshaun for a long time.
Yeah.
People are going to get to know him a lot better as a player, but he seems like a really serious young man.
Yeah.
How have you gotten? What have you come to know about him over the years?
He's serious, but he's also jokes with Coach Valai, the deepest voice, in the history of mankind.
I'm not sure I understand.
By the
Exactly,
way,
I couldn't either. That's God talking. You're good.
I don't want to ever talk around you. I feel like you're the impersonation.
I am.
guy,
I
so-
don't know why. Just maybe it's the comedy from back in the day. But Deshaun is just, to me, a different guy. Great work ethics. Funny, him and Day. Day is almost like the Cali in him when his dad was at USC, and Deshaun is all Kansas City when he was in Kansas City with the Chiefs. So just the way he carries himself on a daily basis and his work ethic, and you see him quiet, but when you talk to him, he's one of the funniest guys on his team. And their parents, are family for me. So mom and dad. But Deshaun, one thing he is going to do, he's going to work his tail off, and he's going to make sure he's known by the end of this season through his work ethic. So.
I know obviously when he was going through the transfer portal
Yep.
and all that stuff, you were probably talking to him, but what was his approach in all of this? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously he knew you, he knew Brent.
Yeah. Well, he's comfortable with guys who believed in him, and he sees the system, the scheme that B's had, all the way across, and how he puts guys in position to be successful. And once again, you look at BV through his history, whether it was at Kansas State, Oklahoma, Clemson, the whole nine. It's just he's been a dominant guy, but he puts guys in position to be successful. A lot of guys, have their scheme and they stay set with it. What B does extremely well from all the guys I've been around too is he puts guys successful in that scheme to be in a dominant position. So that's what makes V different, and Deshaun saw that, and he knew my connection to him as well too. And once again, it's different when a coach is willing to run through a wall for you and not just be a hypocrite, tell you to run through a wall for him. So he knows V gonna line up in that A gap, I'll line the opposite A, and we'll run through somebody's soul for him. So simple as that.
What is-
Over the years, Brent's defenses, those linebackers have been so crucial.
Yeah.
People think about guys like Rocky Kalmus and Teddy Lane
Yeah.
and that crew here. What characteristics does Hassan bring? I know position changes,
Length.
but yeah.
Length, size, athleticism, which is different because, he's like 6'12", and he's 240, 50 pounds, and he can do a bunch of different things. And I love his versatility, and we love his mindset. And once again, if a big guy can move like he's, 5'9", but can hit like he's 6'8", it's a great combination for him. And once again, I just love his mindset right now. He's ready to work.
Woody's
Great
played
question.
a lot of football here.
Yep.
Where's he at going into training camp?
He's great right now. I think like I told Woody right to his face, and I've said it before, beginning of last year, first half of the season, it was a solid player. I mean, I told him right to his face, he was average at that point. But then from the second half of the season, from Iowa State all the way in, kid made a bunch of plays because he's being more aggressive at the top of the route. He's not playing safe, to be in a good position and just be on top. That's not good enough. You want to be a hell of a football player, you got to make the moment every single time. And he's gotten tremendously better as you look throughout the season, whether it's West Virginia, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, when Jonah gets to pick off his play, or Florida State. And Woody's made a lot of plays, but also I love the physicality in his tackling. Because once again, the number one thing in our group we're not going to be is soft. I promise you that. You're soft, you're not playing for me or Coach B, but it's just the mindset you got to have. Once again, I'm a football player that plays corner, and this ain't high school 7-on-7 doing all that. You better hit somebody. It's real out here. Make that receiver earn a scouty check. Get off the block destruction. Go be physical. Go be violent. And maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm Ronnie Lott, cut my finger off old school. But it's a different mindset you got to have. And once again, we got to pour it on a daily basis.
Is there a special relationship that kind of develops between a player and coach when he's out there coaching with you during summer camps, during the session?
Yeah, it's awesome. The summer camp sessions are great, and it makes the guys become coaches, right? And if they can coach it, they can do it. It's almost like what they say in dodgeball: they can dodge a wrench. You dodge a ball, right? But same thing. You can coach. If you can coach it, you can do it as well too. So having them and me stepping back and watching those guys coach, and I can only step back for so long, but having those guys be that intense on the details. The beauty's in the details. I always say the discipline, the details is like the gateway drug to dominance. You know what I mean? If you're that detailed in what you do, like watch what happens on the football field.
And how much does that translate to player-led practices and him
Same
being
deal.
able to work with the young guys and all that?
Once again, don't be his friend. Be his brother, and that's just keeping it real with him. Hey, you're not efficient in your moves. Hey, your eyes in the wrong place. Hey, two to the man on every transition. Because once again, practice happens, game reality. That's why I hate like one-on-one sometimes, because sometimes guys make plays in one-on-ones and they're playing terrible technique and they're doing this. Like, yeah. Guess what? In the game, they get bombed on. And they're like, oh, Steve, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Once again, it's all about technique. One-on-one is not about winning one-on-one. It's about dominating your technique in the moment of truth, right? So not looking back out of phase, you know what I mean? playing through the guy, inside release, playing in your hip, and understand, inside release, you got to leverage release, what routes come based off of that. And to me, I love seeing that growth, not just out there, playing yard ball and the ignorance of it. So.
One of the guys that
before he gets off the line, I always enjoy that one.
100%. The two-hand jam, right?
one of the guys that's physical, that has a good nature of being able to do it, Kendall Dolby.
Yeah.
Just how good was to get him in spring? What does he need to do making that jump from JUCO?
Yeah, the biggest thing is, once again, is that jump from JUCO ball.
Yeah.
Is a big deal for Dolby, but he's gotten better, understanding scheme. His tackling's always been great, and he's been a physical guy, but just understand a little bit more on the outside, the details of it, because once again, football's a game of inches, so interesting with the details. So if you're not detailed, you think I made the play, I'm a half an inch off, and I can just do this or do that, and that's where you get help. So for him, learn the details of the defense, learn the details of the scheme, and understand his fit within the scheme, when to be aggressive, when not to be. Understand I'm a fourth player, I'm a third player, or a quarters player. Like, what is your job? What is the route concept? Why are they lining up like that? So to me, it's understanding those context clues, reading comprehension, right? Football comprehension is what's going to make him a better football player. That, and I think his endurance throughout the summer, with Schmitty, becoming Schmitty built. He's got shoulders like this now, and he's running, and he's in shape. So I think that's been awesome.
How far along is Makari and Josiah just going through spring and then coming in? And were they ahead of things maybe coming out of spring?
They're working their tail off. Once again, I think with Schmitty and Reggie and Shway and Scotty and Dobbs and that whole crew down there, I love the mindset those guys pour into the guys on a daily basis and who they are and what they put into their soul, that fire in their soul every single day. But understanding the scheme, like I said before too, Josiah's been great, Makari's been phenomenal as well too. Those guys are ready to play, right now. They're ready to go compete right now, and they're still young and they're still learning, they're still growing. But once again, their mindset is, I want to be great. They didn't come here to be, Joe Schmo, they want to be elite. So to me, the details and everything they do is what's going to make them separate themselves.
Coach, how about that position opposite Woody? Because it seems like you got a lot of guys there, some at different levels, but potential is there. How do you keep them happy, and how do you make that work?
Once again, no Trump, no Biden, no politics. Best guy gonna play. Press play. That's all you got to do. Just press play. And
I'll vote for that.
Yeah, that's a touche. I like that. To me, it's just honesty and keeping it real with the guys and giving everybody equal opportunity to go play. And then once again, just separate yourself on the football field, in the classroom, in meetings. Are you talking loud? Are you understanding your keys? Are you answering like this? Are you slouching? I want to see how detailed you are right now. And I think one thing D always says is, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So if you're up in a meeting room and you're talking loud with your chest and you have the mindset to go be great and you're intense with everything you do and you're sitting on the edge of your chair, guess what? On the field, you'll be the same thing. The walkthroughs, you do the same thing. Game day, you're going to do the same thing, right? It's who you are on a daily basis. So seeing that from the guys on a daily basis and who they are and the passion they have in their chest has got to be everything. So it's a nonstop. Even for Woody got to compete for it too. This ain't, once again, I love Woody. Woody's been phenomenal. He's going to be a leader, but this is not an enabling society. This is straight dictatorship in my room. You got to empower him. So Woody, you want to be great? Go be great. I challenge Woody more than any other guy in the room. He's an old guy. He could be sitting back like this, but Woody has to be challenged. You want to be great? You want to be different? You want to be that guy, that everybody was talking 2 years ago. He's good here, solid there. Just be a guy or be a dude. And Woody wants to be a dude, so I'm going to challenge him and told him right to his face, and he's ready for the fight. So he's excited to say.
Back to Josiah Makari. What's the biggest challenge for those freshmen going through their first camp?
Yeah, I still think, once again, you've been here earlier. You're not a freshman. I'm not a freshman. I'm a sophomore ready to roll. If you tell yourself a freshman, you can play like a freshman. If I say I'm a sophomore ready to roll, I'm gonna play like a sophomore who's ready to roll. And so that's the thing I keep just kind of tweaking their mindset is, I'm not here to be an average guy or be a young guy. I'm here to go play ball. If you go play ball like that, watch how you play. So when I played at Wisconsin, same thought process I had. I'm not here thinking like, oh man, this guy's older, that guy's older. I'm thinking, go run through that guy's face, and that's it. See a little, see a lot, go play fast. So for me, those two guys, they have all the ability in the world. It's just if they go into the mindset like that and go be aggressive, go attack, they'll be great.
How do you feel about your depth now versus a year ago versus 7 months ago?
Yeah, I love the guys we had last year, but I think we have a lot of depth. CJ Colden obviously is going to be a big miss. CJ's growth throughout the season is what I use every single day as a testimony for the guys, because the guys literally changed the way he studied, literally changed the way he worked, and literally had 5 picks, 1 got called back in 5 games. And having a guy like that, I use the example for all the guys, because we have guys who are more athletic or right there, but I think CJ was just so detailed and so aggressive, and he's convicted in who he was every single game. You knew he was going to make a play. You know, and for him and Woody, especially, and Jay Davis to a bit too, and Gentry, you know, beginning of the year, you're thinking, okay, what happens? All right, ball's coming the way, you know, because, you know, I don't think they were like that yet. But towards the end of the season, I was praying for the ball to get thrown at them. I want to see what happens because those guys are making a lot of plays on the ball the last 4 or 5 games. So using that, pushing it forward, is got to be everything for our group in the room.
What did a season with CJ teach you about development, coaching his position, and all that?
It was old dog new tricks is a lie. You know what I mean? He really humbled himself, changed. You know, I still remember the first time talking to him, changed his whole thought process, and just started really understanding defense from a different perspective, and seeing the way CJ worked and his thought process of becoming great, how much time he spent in elite recovery, how much time he came up watching extra film, texting me questions, Coach, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And that's how he learned how to play fast and aggressive. And to be honest with you, I think CJ playing the way CJ did is what made Woody turn to where Woody was in the season last year as well too. Those guys were playing super aggressive, and it was, as Woody says, shiesty season, and those guys were out there making plays on the ball. And once again, football's recess. You know, if you come to it every single day, you get to work. I remember my good friend Ryan Pohl said that to me one time, and you know, he used it for his thought process, and he's doing that now for the Bears as GM. But guys who come to work every single day in the thought process, it's recess, not like something I got to do, but something I love to do. You know, when we had Tyreek Hill and Pat Mahomes, every day was recess for practice. They were smiling, running around, extra reps. Yes, sir, let's go. And once guys really bought into that mindset, those guys become great at the end of the season. So we need to have a whole room of that, a whole team full of that, and watch what happens.
We're going to get to talk to Gentry later, but from where he was a year ago to now and where he fits in this room, where do you see that?
Yeah, stepping up to the front. Like I said, Gentry, you want to be great. It's your opportunity now. Don't wait to be great. And I tell him that on a daily basis. He's worked his tail off. He's put on, you know, good weight, you know, 15, 16 pounds since when he first got here. He's running his tail off, and now it's time to go make the plays. You know, it's time for that moment. Like, go make the play. Go be you. Understand who you are. Don't be confident. Be convicted in who you are and everything you do. And having that mindset of not flinching and going attacking the ball, and anybody can come see me at any time. That's what he's got to be. And that's how he's going to dominate on the football field. So, you know, embrace the intensity and the passion of competition.
Did you get the sense he was raring to go this summer after kind of having to start spring?
He was raring to go in spring. So to be honest with you, he was raring to go. We got to hold him back, and like I said, rather than pitbull, you got to, you know, pull back than push forward. So Gentry's always had that mindset, and he's more than willing, ready to fight. So like I said, I can't wait. I'm beyond excited. "Quote unquote," the young room, right? The young room. I want to see young dogs fight. So young aggressive dogs fight.
Jay, you've been around some really good SEC programs.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen sort of just a shift in
mindset
once?
That's a great question.
As you guys are preparing to make
100%. I've been in SEC 3 seasons. I won 2 SEC titles, and then played in 2 natties off of that as well too. And you can see the difference in the guys. You know, when they come to work every single day, the difference in their eye. You know what I mean? Their mindset, mentality, going to work, the grind, and the bodies in the room, and the size of the guys and the athletes, but they're constantly pushing each other and holding the standard. The standard is the standard. Holding that ability to do that on a daily basis has been really good. But yeah, we're getting SEC built right now. We've got a great O-line, and you see it from the O-lineman to D lineman now to back-end athletes to just everybody across the board. You know, it's no flinch. You know, if you want to be successful in SEC, don't flinch. I know that much. And it starts with the head coach all the way down. That's the way V's always been. So let's go throw hands and go fight.
Jay, you mentioned the eye. Are you seeing that in recruiting too?
Oh yeah. Like I said, we're recruiting for the SEC as well too. You know, we know what we got. We know what the SEC is, and you want to, you know, if a guy's scared, he ain't gonna make it in SEC. You know, knees get all wobbly on the outsides, 1-on-1, and you know, like the D-Way commercial, he's waking up. You know, and you don't want that. You don't want that. You want guys who are like embrace the moment. Like like I get to. You know, I get to go 1-on-1 with this dude on deep ball. I get to go hit this dude in the hole. I get to go see him and make his parents cry when we go to any of these SEC places where it's all about hate. Because I tell people all the time, the difference between SEC and a lot of different, you know, conferences, it's, you know, it's built on hate. You know what I mean? It's straight hate everywhere you go. Hate, and I love it. You know, and it's the passion, intensity of the SEC that makes it different, truly different. So to me, embrace the hate, feed off the hate, and even the guys this season, I want to be loved, I want to be hated. I remember Rod Smart. Y'all remember him, XFL. He hate me. You know, he had the back of the truck. He hate me was his name. I love that because somebody hates you, they got to respect you. So it starts from our room like that too. I want to be, you know, hated by every opponent we go against, just because how annoying we are, how intense we are, how passionate we are, and how we're pouring it out on a daily basis. But to me, that's what translates to the SEC and everything we want to do in our program as well too.
The volume and magnitude is different in the SEC, but
Yeah.
has this been a good runway with Oklahoma's last couple of runs through the Big 12 to get
Yeah.
adjusted to that mentality?
Yeah, the volume is a big deal, but once again, you got your top dogs, and they've been like that. Everybody else is fighting for the scraps of to get back to the top. And for me, it's one game at a time, and that's like our process right now. We're not looking all the way down the season. We're looking at game one. What is game one? Arkansas State game one. And once again, how you know if it's one bite at a time? Same way you go to the SEC, same way you go to the Big 12, same way you go to the workouts. We ain't thinking about 32 days from now, game one. We're talking about today, and then tomorrow, and then just once again going down, all the way down the line to seeing where we're going to be. But just doing it with passion every single day you wake up and thanking God for another blessed day has got to be everything.
Obviously, last year we're trying to get the best players in to
yeah.
play for. This year, same thing.
Yeah.
Have you noticed though a shift recruiting-wise, whether it's the ability to get into some living rooms that maybe you wouldn't have got into, when you're recruiting to the Big 12 versus the SEC?
Yeah.
Or just the mindset of things.
Yeah, to me, the Big 12 versus SEC, when you go to SEC, it's the biggest stage. That's just what it is. It's, SEC on from Texas, Channel 11, 2:30 game. You know what's going down, or the night game, what's going down. To me, it's the big stage of the SEC, which is, to me, where everybody wants to be a part of. And you guys look at the NFL, what the SEC has, proved time and time again. That's why guys are so excited. Big 12 is an awesome conference as well, too. But like I said, we're going to the SEC, and it's where dogs eat. But the Big 12, like I said, it's a phenomenal conference as well, too. So did open a couple doors, yeah, but football's still football either way. You got to go earn it on the football field. Just because you have SEC on your shirt don't mean you're going to win the game. So it's a mindset you got to have and be ready to roll.